Alright, hello everybody, Conman here. It is patch day, as you see on the screen. So we're going to talk about this patch here, Heroes of the Storm PTR, only the PTR patch. So we're talking about the PTR patch, some of the notes, we're going to go through it real quick. I'll just give my quick impressions on what's going on. There were a couple of reworks. JunkRat is released. Also, quick update on where I have been. I did get a question, so somebody may have noticed, if anybody's actually following this channel, that haven't had too many Heroes videos in the past few weeks. I think I did just the one Anna video and I did some PTR stuff, and that's true. Part of it is I've actually been playing other stuff. Divinity 2 has been taking up all of my time, and it is good. I recommend you play it. Go check it out if you're into that old school RPG thing. Definitely, it is a good game, so I've been playing a lot of that. Shadows of War drops tomorrow. I'm going to be playing that. Maybe I'll make some videos on that. I have no idea, or stream the hell out of it. That was one of the things that I was thinking about doing. And then Wolfenstein will be coming out soon, so I'll be busy playing some things that are not Heroes related. And then other than that, just Heroes of the Storm stuff, I've been kind of, I don't want to say sour on it recently, but less enthused since the new ranked season came out. There were a couple of bugs, some of which got fixed, like that Falstad Tailwind thing. Wasn't too thrilled that they immediately threw the new map directly into the ranked rotation. You know, it's kind of sucks when you're trying to progress through ranked and you've got to play a new map that nobody knows how to play yet. Not the optimal way, in my personal opinion. There's some other things. I'm not going to go into a whole huge rant. I'm not quitting the game. I just haven't been playing quite as much. I haven't played a whole lot of ranked other than the placement games. Playing some quick match though, did get Anna up to 5. I will definitely check out JunkRat once he's out, and I'll probably play on the PTR and give him a run through tonight after this. In the meantime though, let's talk about the patch notes that are out here on the PTR right now. So you can play this. It is live. I imagine this will go live on the servers next week. I don't know if there's been an official word yet. I haven't checked, I haven't saw, but I assume this will be live next week. So let's talk about what we've got. I haven't looked at these yet. I know that there's some reworks. I know that there's some new stuff out. So we'll scan through it. So we've got, first off, for starters, we've got a new event, Hollow's End. That means I do actually have to go back on the main on the live server and finish my Pachamari stuff. I think I need like 5 more of those things to finish off that quest. Yeah, so basically you just play a bunch of games. That doesn't look so bad. Play 25 games during the event in any mode except custom. So that, I don't know how long this says it lasts. Starts on the 17th. Doesn't look like there's a date when this ends, but 25 games is not all that much to play, especially if you're just going to grind out some AI games. They're pretty quick. So you get a cartoon Headless Horseman spray, you get a Warcrest banner, and then you get a portrait. So fun stuff there. I like that. Just play a bunch. It's cool. I like this here as well. Once the Hollows event begins, any loot chest you get will be guaranteed. Let's see, loot chests you earn through progression or purchased through gems will be replaced with Hollow End's loot chests. Weekly Brawl rewards after October 20th will also award 1 loot chest. Starting with Hollow's End, special event loot chest will now guarantee at least 1 of the limited time items per event. Well, this is good. See, this is the problem that a lot of people had with the summer event, where you were getting loot chests and all that stuff, and it had a chance to get all of the summer items and all the, you want to get your swim trunks and whatever the hell it was, but you weren't guaranteed to actually get any of the items. So now any loot chest you get, you're going to be guaranteed to get at least 1 of the limited time themed items, which I think is good. Also, one thing I want to show off, I'm going to sidetrack for a minute. If you can see in the background, this is, let me turn this off here real quick. Where is it? There we go. Look at that. That is JunkRat. That is JunkRat. So if we do like this and we go back, that's kind of fun. I like that. Nothing. You can't click on anything though. I'm sad they haven't put in. I don't think they've had a secret that you can put in. You can click on the hero screen since maybe the Chromie patch. It's been quite a while since they've had one of those. I keep hoping, and if there is, I haven't found the right one to actually click on it. All right, let's go back here. Let's see. Until Hollow's End event concludes during the week of November 13th. There you go. So you've got about a month. You got just under a month. So 3 weeks and change in order to play your 25 games to get all the stuff. So there you got plenty of time. You'll pick up 1 of these limited time loot chests every time you level up. There you go. Okay, cool. I'm down with that. hotkeys to switch between the stats, talents, and death recap can now be rebound. It was F1, F2, F3. I guess it still is. You can rebind those. That's fine. I never even know they had. I didn't know they had hotkeys. I usually just click on the thing. So that's just me. There you go. Windows XP and Vista appreciation. In July, we announced support to end support for Windows. The intention to end support for Windows XP. So, all right. I mean, I guess if you're if you're running an old operating system, you no longer are able to play Heroes of the Storm. So that kind of sucks. I get why they're doing it. I'm running Windows 7. I guess I'm okay for the moment. Sorry for everyone else. We got JunkRat. JunkRat is announced. I'll probably make a separate thing on him, so I won't go into too much in depth here. I'm interested in his trait. I get that's what he does in Overwatch. At least so I'm told. I don't play a lot of Overwatch. Upon dying, drop 5 grenades and explode after 0.75 seconds, each dealing a bunch of damage. It's just one of those things. Like I really don't like where they're going with some of the design choices, and I get that's the same thing that happens in Overwatch, and I'll probably talk about some of this stuff as we get into the reworks. But man, can we get a trait that you can use that doesn't require dying? I mean, if you're playing the game, if you're playing the game, well, if you're doing well and you don't die, you don't get any value out of your trait. Like if you don't die as JunkRat, you don't get any value out of your trait. If you don't die as Tyrael, then what good is your trait? You don't get anything from it. Like there really should be, my opinion anyway, there should be like something that you can keep this as his trait, as your trait. Like, yeah, it's fine, drop your grenades, but man, like give him a little bonus somewhere. Give him something that you can get that you can actually use when you're still alive. Like I don't know, that's just me. He gets a frag launcher, he gets some mines, he gets steel trap. He is an assassin. I believe he's classified as an assassin, and his heroics, Riptire, and Rocket Ride, which again, if you've played Overwatch, it should be pretty similar. I'll do a breakdown in a separate video. Rocket Ride, at least you get some trait value because you get to pick the rocket, land, do a bunch of damage, drop your grenades, and then go back to spawn, and then you get a speed buff to take it and go back into the fight. So that's actually an interesting heroic. I'm actually interested in seeing how that plays out effectively. We got some new battleground rotations for the map. That's fine. Volskaya is still in the rotation. We're losing Infernal Shrines, Battlefield of Eternity, and Warhead Junction. We are adding Sky Temple, Garden of Terror, and Braxis Holdout. That's whatever. Volskaya is still in there. I really wish, like I said, I wish they would have removed it first and then put it in after a week or two, or I don't know, whatever. Seasonal item indicate some UI improvements. Okay. Volskaya Foundry now gets a Point Guard award for standing on the control point at the end. It's at the end screen. Okay, that's fine. Now here's all the fun stuff. Here are the reworks. Okay, so Gaul. We're gonna start with the assassins. Gaul, Ogre Rage should now be more apparent when Ogre Rage is active, which is great. I haven't had too much trouble with it, but I can imagine it's a little just an icon under your feet, and it's not obvious, but you got to be on the lookout for it. It's a great quality of life issue. I'm down with that. Genji, level 20, small nerf at Dragon Becomes Me, duration increase per swing reduced from 1 to 0.75 seconds. Not a huge thing here, that's just kind of a small tweak. Some interesting changes to Kel'Thuzad here. They're trying to buff his Frost Blast. They want to make that a more competitive heroic. Cooldown reduced and Frost Blast from 80 to 70 seconds, and the mana cost also reduced. So it's still, I mean, Shadow Fissure is still the way to go, even though it's a 20-second cooldown, or changed to a 20-second cooldown in the last balance patch. It's still the way to go. Level 4, Strip Shields. Shield amount increased from 112 to 120, so this is the shields that actually you get. Level 13, Icy Grasp, increase the slow duration, and then Chain Link will reduce the mana cost of Chains of Kel'Thuzad. So they're trying to give a little bit more talent diversity, that's all. I mean, nothing crazy there. Lunara gets a quality of life change as well. Let's see what we got here. Move cooldown, or for Wisp. The move cooldown reduced from 5 to 1 second, which is good, so you can relocate your Wisp much more often, much more frequently. And the number of attacks required to kill the Wisp increased from 1 to 2, which falls in line with stuff like Scouting Drone, or what's the eye that Cho'Gall gets? I forget the name now. Eye of Kilrog. Those I think are both 2 hits. Those are all 2 hits. So the Wisp was only 1, so now that's going to fall in line with the same thing. So that's fine. I like it. No problems there. Malthael gets, speaking of trait, it gets nerfs. Damage reduced 2.25 to 2% of enemy maximum hero health. So this, when he was first released, they're slowly kind of knocking him down and dialing that down. When he was first released, I believe it was 2.5% of his max health, enemy hero max health across the board. So now this is down to 2%. So Blizz must think he's still doing way too much damage overall just based on the trait, which is about what you would expect with a guy who's built around, you know, applying his trait. But they did, you know, chunk it down now another 0.25%. So we'll still see how that plays out. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what his win rate currently is. I thought he was in a better place than what he was, because they did nerf down some of his other abilities, but we'll see how it goes. Zul'jin gets a rework. Let's look at this. So you want Axe, which was the level 1 quest. It is now baseline. That's the other thing. That's another thing that Blizzard has been doing. They are just making all of these quests. They're just making a lot of quests baseline. They're just taking like the most picked talent and making it baseline into a quest. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it's what it is. So they're making you on Axe baseline. Every 5 basic attacks against heroes, increase your basic attack damage by 1. After landing 75, you increase your range. And then after landing 150 basic attacks on enemy heroes, your Twin Cleave will revolve twice. Basically, it's the exact thing that you had at level 1. It is now baseline, so that gives you the opportunity. So you don't have to worry about picking that if you're going to go say like Zul'jin Mage kind of thing. You can now have the ability to pick some other stuff. Let's see what else we get. Grievous Throw duration decrease, so that actually got reduced a little bit. Twin Cleave, cooldown increased, mana cost increased, and regen, the health restoration was increased. So interesting changes there. So you want Axe's baseline. Your other abilities, your Q and W abilities were nerfed, actually, believe it or not. And then your regen was increased slightly. So that's an interesting change here. Let's see, level 1 Bone Slicer, new functionality. Grievous Throw pierces all enemies and refunds 10 mana per hero hit. The effect is no longer removed after 3 basic attacks. So there you go. So that ties in. So that makes sense when you play it off that the duration is lower. So before you would hit 3 people, you fire it off on somebody, you throw your 3 axes, plural, and that would be your bonus. So that looks like it's going to stick around for the entire duration if you take this ability at level 1, take this talent at level 1, which means if you get your attack speed buff going pretty fast, you can get quite a few hits with that. So I imagine Bone Slicer will be a pretty solid pickup at level 1 now if you're going to go auto attack build. So U1 Axe obviously is removed, it's now baseline. Headhunter moved from level 4, new functionality, kill all unique enemy heroes. Each one increases your damage by 2%. Reward, increase your basic attack range by 1.1. So there you go. So there's an interesting change. So just you kill heroes, and it increases your damage. So does that mean you kill everyone once, you get 10% damage buff? I guess that's what that sounds like. If I'm mathing correctly, I don't know if that stacks or anything like that. That's what it sounds like. I think before is which is the one where I think Headhunter was the one where if you, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a while since I played Zul'jin, was the ability where if you killed all the enemy heroes, it'll allow you to reveal them all for a short time, which actually was really strong. It's just that you didn't really take it at that talent tier. Alright, Recklessness, passive moved from level 7. Adjusted functionality, you gain 10% bonus attack damage while below 75% life. And you gain 20% spell power while below 50% life. So pretty solid as well there. So you get some interesting choices at level 1. Level 4, Troll's Blood, new functionality, increase regeneration healing by 25%. If you're fully heal, you also gain back 10% of your maximum mana. Interesting. New talent, Amani Rage. Activate to instantly lose 50% of your current health and regain it over 60 seconds. Gain 10 armor while this is active. I get where they're going with this. You toggle this, you lose your health, you get that bonus for lower health, and it'll slowly regen. All right, that gives some play with that. I like where that's going. I don't know if I would take that. Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting. I take that back. Maybe that'd be an interesting one to look into. Let's see. Voodoo Shuffle moved from level 13, so we got some movings here. New functionality, passively lower the cooldown and mana cost of regen by 33%. Activate to remove all slow and root effects. Alright, so like a mini self-cleanse kind of deal going on. No stuns though. Level 7, Vicious Assault. Whoop. Let's see, Grievous Throws bonus damage is increased by 30%, so that's a pretty solid upgrade. Arcanite Axes, move from level 1. New function. I love how they say they move something, but then they change the functionality anyway, so it's not even really like the same talent. Passively reduce the cooldown of Twin Cleave by 2%, or 2 seconds, excuse me, not 2%, 2 seconds. Hit enemy, you get a quest as well. Hit enemy heroes with Twin Cleave. Every enemy hero hit increases the damage by 0.75, is that what it says? That is what that says. This talent has no cap. Okay, I get where you're going with that. So 0.75, but you can just stack it indefinitely. So that's one you want to go through if you're going to build up your, I guess your mage zul'jin and build up your spell power. Ferocity has been moved from level 16. It looks like that stays the same. Over at 13, we've got zul'jin. Basic attacks against enemies. Enemy heroes increase Zul'jin's movement speed by 3% for 2 seconds, stacking up to 30%. Only heroes, only heroes. Let's see, Lacerate, move from level 16. Ensnare, move from level 20. This was a level 20 talent, now it's now at 13, so you get it early. Now only hits enemy heroes, A+, I'm liking that. It was too easy to hide behind like minions or something like that. Duration reduced from 3 to 1.5 seconds. Cooldown is increased, so it's probably a talent that no one will ever pick. That's okay. Okay. That's my personal opinion. I don't think I would take Ensnare at level 13 with that 60-second cooldown. Unless you increase the range, you know, it's a little bit easier to use now since it's only going to hit enemy heroes. But unless you increase the range or something like that, I don't know if I would take that at level 13. I think that's just going to be a trap talent. Alright, 16, Swirling Death, remove, goodbye, get out of here. Let's see, Let the Killing Begin, moved from level 4. Wrong place, wrong time, moved from level 7. And adjusted functionality. Heroes hit at the apex of your twin blades, suffer an additional 150 damage. Grants 5 stacks of You Want Axe. There you go, so up, increase your baseline quest. New talent, No Mercy, basic attacks against heroes marked with the Grievous Throw, ignore armor. That could be a big one. That could be pretty big. Level 20, Amani Resistance. Added functionality also increases the duration of Tazdingo by 1 second in addition to the current effects. So there you go, there's a buff to the Tazdingo. Buzzsaw, if Guillotine kills a hero, instantly heal to full health. I like that. I like that. My only complaint about that, and this isn't a complaint about that, this isn't a complaint about the talent in general. I like the effect. I do think Tazdingo is still way, way better than Guillotine. Not that Guillotine is completely unusable. It's just one of those things where, like, it really doesn't become worthwhile until that's the change that's going to make that better. Like right there, once you kill a hero, you get full health. So you get super low health, you drop Guillotine, you snipe somebody out, you do like 2,000 damage straight away, and then you get back to full health, and that's a big deal. But, you know, again, personal opinion, you never know. Here we go. Forest Medicine is moved from level 13. Regeneration no longer requires a channel, and the total and the heal cannot be interrupted. So that, there you go. So previously at 13, what this would do is it would no longer require the channel, but if you took damage, it would interrupt that. So now you can no longer interrupt that. That could be potentially interesting at level 20. I have a feeling most of the people are going to end up upgrading their ultimate. I think that's what's going to ultimately happen, is whatever ult you take, you're going to take the upgrade for the ult. I don't see Forest Medicine outstripping that, but that's just me. So we'll see. There's an interesting one. Curious to see how Zul'jin will play out. I knew he got reworked. I don't know how well it's going to go. Abathur gets damage spike increased. Ultimate Evolution cooldown increased. That's actually a big deal. Ultimate Evolution was by far and away the superior ultimate. And it pretty much means that at 70 seconds, it really starts to borderline that thing where you can't use it all the time, and you've got to really pick and choose when you use your ultimate evolution, because you may not necessarily have it up for every team fight. You know, at 60 seconds, anything, basically 50 seconds, you can use it. You're in a team fight, you can just pop that ultimate evolution out, you can help your team out. 70 seconds, those extra 20 seconds really make a big difference. So it makes Abathur players think a little bit more about when they're going to use ultimate evolution. I still think it's the better ultimate, even with that cooldown change. It's at least in higher end play, as you start to get into it, people aren't going to let you, you know, stack up the monstrosity like you need to in order to make it viable. So Ultimate Evolution is going to be the way to go. Got some, let's see, we got some Nazebo changes. Health lowered, okay. Reduced pretty significantly, actually. 130. Health regen reduced in kind. Corpse spiders, damage increased by 1. Plague of toads, damage reduced. I'm curious. Okay, let's see where they're going with this. Voodoo ritual is your trait. Health per voodoo ritual stack increased from 4 to 6. So more of the health goes into your stacks. Ravenous spirit, cast range increased by 1. That's fine. And then we've got, let's see, Superstition at level 13. New functionality, you gain 40 spell armor. Taking, I think it was 50% more? I think it was 50% previously. 40% spell armor. You gain 40% less damage from abilities. Basic attacks from enemy heroes. Remove this bonus for 3 seconds. So this, okay. So this is something that isn't permanent. So you could actually lose that spell armor bonus. So you no longer take, so okay, you no longer take bonus hero damage for basic attacks, which is I think what you did before, but now you just lose the bonus from spell armor. Alright, that could be, so this becomes I think a bit more situational. Interesting. Level 16, Spider Colony got reworked. New functionality, each time a spider attacks an enemy hero, reduce the cooldown of Wall of Zombies and Plague of Toads by 0.25 seconds. So there we go. So instead of previously Spider Colony was where if you're at high health, your cooldown would refresh more quickly for spiders. For your spiders. Now instead of doing that, it'll actually, as you hit people, it will refresh the cooldown of your other abilities. Let's see what they say here. We want to shift more of the Nazebo's health into the amount of Voodoo Ritual stacks he has, as the reward for Voodoo Ritual is mostly felt in unlocking Violent Infection at level 20, which is kind of true. It's kind of what it was. We're changing Spider Colony to no longer reduce the cooldown of Corpse Spiders, because the synergy between the spider talents were so high that if you picked any one of them, the rest of your talent choices were locked in, which is kind of accurate. I mean, really, it was spider build or toad build, or I guess zombie build, but that, I don't know about that. Since we're changing the level 16 talent to now affect Plague of Toads instead of Corpse Spiders, we're shifting some of the damage out of Plague of Toads into Corpse Spiders. So basically what this is saying is, alright, and then for Superstition, we wanted to get you the most out of the spirit of what the old talent did, but have more gameplay interactions. Often the only counterplay to Superstition lied in what the enemy team composition was, and we'd rather have more counterplay. Yeah, okay. So what they're basically saying here is we're going to let you, if you take Spider Colony, if you go spider build, you're going to, rather than have the increased the cast of spiders, we're going to play that in. We're gonna let you cast Plague of Toads and your zombie wall more often, but we're going to lower the damage as a result, but we're also going to give some of that damage back in the initial cast of the spiders. And in Superstition, we're going to make some counterplay by allowing enemies to kind of temporarily remove the bonus from you. I guess that's where they're going with that. We'll see how that plays out. We'll see how that works. I'm curious if Spider Colony can work into a Toad build now. I'm not sure. I wonder if this neuters Toad build altogether. That's an interesting one. Not that many people took it. It was more. I mean, I think Spider build. I don't know if this. Just the thing about this is the way Blizzard, and I could be completely wrong, but the way Blizzard has been trying to work some of these reworks is to give heroes some more talent diversity. Give them more than one build. Like that was you saw this a lot. If one hero had one build, they would break that build and redo it. I don't think this changes that. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I still think Spider build. I mean, since you lowered the damage on the Toads, you probably still would end up going Spider build now, even with Spider Colony nerfed, or at least changed. It's a nerf if you're going spiders. But hey. Probius, Warp and Pylon, health increased. Gather minerals, damage bonus increased by 10%. Alright, 25 to 35. There you go. Level 13, Shield Battery, shield duration after leaving the pylon reduced, and the shield amount increased. So you get more shields, but you can hold them for less time, is what that is. So small change there. The Zagara gets a couple of small changes. Base health reduced, and then Devouring Maw cooldown is reduced to 80 seconds from 100. So some small tweaks. Anna gets some changes. Let's see, she's new. So they increased her basic attack damage. Yeah, she didn't do a whole lot of basic attack damage. All her damage really comes from the trait, or it comes from Shrike. Level 4. The big change here, though, I peeked this earlier. I saw this coming. They changed Overdose. It no longer applies to Biotic Grenade, and Sleep Dart now applies 3 doses. So what this was previously, or what this is currently on the live server, is Overdose, Biotic Grenade, and Sleep Dart automatically apply 2 doses of your trait. Why this is big right here, that it no longer applies to Biotic Grenade, because if you can be in the middle of a team fight, you can throw your grenade in there, you can hit 3 enemy heroes and get 6 doses, and that's going to, that could lower their spell power, it could increase the power of you get so much synergy with that, it can increase the power of your healing. This is actually a big deal. It's going to be a big nerf to Anna, I think. Even though Sleep Dart now applies 3 doses, you could get a significant number of doses applied to enemy heroes just off the grenade. So it's going to be a nerf. I don't know if it's a big nerf. I mean, it's still, Biotic Grenade is still pretty long cooldown. But it's going to be, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's a nerf across the board. Let's see here. I mean, assuming you took Overdose anyway. Nerf to Overdose, which I think most people did. I'd have to check the pick rates, but I know I always picked it. I picked it every single game I played with her. Dev comments, Anna had an incredibly successful launch into the Nexus and seems to be falling right into a great place balance-wise. Alright, I'm fair with that. We are still light on the high-level data for her, so our changes to this patch are very light, which tells me that they're thinking maybe of tweaking her further down the road. We realized that she has some synergy concerns and wanted to get a small jump on the largest catalyst to those, Overdose, which is, yep, there you go. While playing her internally before launch, we knew she had the potential to single-handedly shift the meta, not to mention increase the amount of double supports we see, which is true. Another reason why I haven't been a huge fan of this patch is double support is really all what it's about now. Rest assured that we are keeping a close eye on both of these concerns, and we are prepared to act accordingly if the need arises. So there you go. Brightwing has some changes, some nerfs. They did buff Brightwing in the last patch. We're gonna dial her down again. Phase shift will also call out the targeted ally and ally chat announcement upon activation, which is nice. So it tells you that not only are you going to phase shift and port, but it's going to tell you who you're porting to, so you know when Brightwing is going to land on you. So that's great, actually. Pixie Dust, spell armor reduced from 30 to 25. Emerald Wind, soothing mist bonus healing reduced from to 5% from 8%. And then level 7, phase shield. Shield amount reduced from 400 to 350. So some small tweaks, some small downgrades, although I do like the quality of life thing up there. Charism gets a buff. Transcendence, healing increase from 96 to 103 per 3 basic attacks, so that's just a buff there. And then Insight trait, level 1, cooldown reduction increase from 1.5 to 1.75 seconds per 3 basic attacks. So punch things more often and you get more out of them, is what it comes down to. Morales gets some small buffs, or small nerfs, it looks like. Base health reduced. Cooldown reduction from first quest unlock reduced from 4 to 3 seconds. Last shield amount reduced from 8% to 5%, 6% of maximum health. And then second opinion, cooldown reduction for hitting 2 heroes increased from 1 to 2 seconds. So mostly nerfs to medics kit. Small ones, nothing crazy. Just some nerfs to the grenade and a nerf to blast shield. Stukov looks like he gets some changes. Health reduced, small amount, almost 190 there. Healing level, see Q, healing pathogen, heal amount reduced. Okay, that's across the board. Level 1, spine launcher, damage reduction increased from 35 to, that's okay. So damage reduction, this used to they're changing it again. This used to be, I think it was 50%. It might have been more than that. It might have actually been much more than that. I think it was 50%. I think so. Damage, spine launcher gives you a ranged attack, and it used to be that it reduced your damage 50%. Then they changed it that it only reduces your damage like what, 30%. Now it's going to reduce your damage 40%. So it's a nerf overall. Poppin' pustules, added functionality, now increases the final damage of weighted pustule by 50%. Level 16, Super Strain added functionality now also applies to targets who were rooted while under the effects of healing pathogen. Universal Carrier, heal reduction decreased, and then I infection at W was removed at 16. So some small tweaks to Stuck Up. I'm not sure how that plays out. I don't know what his current best builds were, to be honest. I hadn't played him since launch, and I know they had changed him a bunch since then. I'm not sure how this changes anything. I'm curious if Spine Launcher was seeing too much play, actually. I mean, it's still, because basically what it would do is it would do reduced damage, but it would give you a ranged attack, and it would slow. That was the thing, I think, was really, so. We get some changes here. Up on the Warriors, much like Gaul, Cho, Ogrehide, it's now more visible. So there we go. So D.Va. Rush down, cooldown reduction for not dealing or taking damage increased from 7 to 5 seconds. From 5 to 7 seconds. I can read good. Crash Course, number of heroes hit to complete the quest reduced to 20 from 25. Pro moves, duration of the movement speed bonus increase from 1.5 to 1.25 to 1.5 seconds. Small increase. Level 4, diverting power movement speed penalty reduced to 30%. 7 nuclear option damage bonus increased from 70 to 70 from 50%. So this is the one that I like, this one, because this is the one that makes your countdown take longer, but it increases the damage bonus. So I guess it gives your enemies a lot more time to get out of the way, but if you can figure out a way to keep them there or to throw them back in, you're going to get a bigger payoff. Level 20, Stop and Pop. Damage bonus increase from 150 to 200%, and then Concussive Pulse cooldown reduced. So some small changes there, mostly buffs, other than Rushdown, mostly buffs for D.Va. Garrosh, level 20 Death Wish, no longer increases the duration of Warlord's Challenge. Wah, wah. I guess that was seeing it. That was a little bit too strong at level 20 for an AoE taunt. Johanna, she got health buff, a pretty significant one, up to 2350. Let's see, Falling Sword, slow duration was increased. Level 1, Hold Your Ground, additional shield amount was increased to 30%. Level 13, Roar, damage for hitting 2 or more heroes increased. And then Blessed Hammer, damage increased. So this is nerfs across the board for Johanna. They changed her a bunch. I'm not sure I'm a fan of what they did to her. They really got rid of what she was good at, which was staying alive forever, and they tried to compensate that by giving her some more damage. But damage wasn't really what her toolkit, what her niche was. But we'll see. I'm curious if she gets some more play. The other big thing, we got a big Muradin rework here. He gets a baseline quest. Okay, for starters, basic attack damage reduced, 97 to 88. He gets a baseline quest. It's hammer time. Hit 25 enemy heroes with Stormbolt. Enemy heroes who die within 2.5 seconds of being hit gives you 3 stacks. Okay. Once you gain 25 stacks, basic attacks will reduce the cooldown of Stormbolt by 1 second, and Stormbolt will pierce the first target. All right. So Stormbolt's mana cost was reduced. Avatar, if you went that way, was reduced in mana. Haymaker was reduced in mana, so your mana is cut down a little bit. Perfect Storm no longer reduces the mana cost of Stormbolt, which makes sense because they already reduced it across the board. Level 4, Crowd Control removed. Sledgehammer, damage bonus reduced, 400 to 300%. Reverberation, attack and movement speed slow, durations increased. Thunderburn, new functionality, now requires hitting an enemy hero to create the second Thunderclap. Thunderclap now also applies a 25% attack. So there's an interesting one. So this is one, this actually nerfs a little bit Muradin's wave clear, because once you could take Thunderburn at level 4, you could drop your Thunderclap into, as I readjust my seat, excuse me, you take Thunderburn at level 4, you can drop your Thunderclap into a wave, and it will explode twice, and you'll basically kill off the wave. Now you need to hit enemy hero, so that's going to neuter some of his wave clear. It's going to apply now more to heroes. It's really going to make you want to use it against heroes, but it does give you an attack speed debuff, so it'll be good against auto attackers. Okay. Piercing Bolt is removed because they made it baseline into the quest. Iron Forge Momentum removed. All right. Lightning Momentum removed, so we get a whole bunch of new stuff at level 7. Heavy Impact moved from level 16. Give him the Axe moved from level 16. Bonus damage reduced from 60 to 50%. And then Skullcracker no longer gains bonus attack speed every third basic attack. Okay, so they changed like the Murgadin like solo damage build, because what you would do is before you would take Skullcracker for the damage, for the increased attack speed, and then you would give him the axe, and once you would stun someone, you would get attack bonus off of that. So now you got to choose between these two. Every third basic attack against an enemy hero deals 60% bonus damage in addition to the stun. So I don't know the math. I'm sure somebody will math for me. I'm sure somebody smarter than me, who has more time than this, who's doing this right now, will math. I'm curious how that plays out. What is that? How is that a DPS change? Where do you go with that? Is it more or less? I'm not sure. Interesting choice there, level 4 or level 7, excuse me. Level 13, Burning Rage gone, Spell Shield removed. You get a new talent, Bronzebeard Rage. Passively deals damage, and then if you hit somebody, auto-attacking an enemy hero who is stun, rooted, or slowed increases the damage by 100% for 3 seconds. I think Johanna's got a similar style one now. Sure. Okay, I guess that's the thing they're doing. So they're getting rid of like the generic Burning Rage, and they're just giving class, hero-specific ones. Let's see, Dwarf Launch, bonus range decreased. Bonus impact radius removed. Wow. Added functionality. Hitting an enemy hero now reduces the cooldown by 3 seconds. Stone form at 16. Healing reduced. Level 20. Unstoppable force. While avatar is active, you gain 20 armor. And basic attacks reduce the cooldown of Thunderclap and Dwarf Toss by 5 seconds. That's actually a pretty big deal. 0.5 seconds. Less of a big deal. Still pretty significant though. Grand Slam at 20 no longer reduces the mana cost, but added functionality. If an enemy hero dies within 3 seconds of being hit by Haymaker, gain an additional charge of Haymaker. Okay, so you basically get to just cast it again. Alright. I'll have to think about that and play with him. It changes Muradin's playstyle a little bit. Focus more against auto-attacking and being disruptive. I don't know if you can play a full-on DPS Muradin now. I'm curious how that works out. Yeah, I wonder how that plays into the Muradin meta. Like he was always a good. He was more of like a secondary kind of tank. Maybe you can just spec out and go straight damage. I'm curious how this goes, because they did reduce some of his survivability. Yeah. Anyway, stuff to think about. Those are all the hero changes. What else do we got? We got some collection stuff added, a whole bunch of new cosmetics, so open up all those crates. Yep, some new mounts. Picnic Phantom Stallion. Basically all the Phantom Stallions. I don't know what those are, but we'll check them out. Lots of skins for everybody. Murky gets another skin, Chromie gets some skins. Lots of skins. Bug fixes, some typos fixed. AI heroes controlling the Garden Terror will no longer become unresponsive. I guess that's good. Let's see. Fixed an issue preventing Leorg's basic attack cleave animation from playing. This is some art stuff. Alright, here we go. Brightwing. Channel for phase shift will now properly cancel if Brightwing is rooted or if the target dies. Fixed an issue. Prevented summon water elemental from being cast on the opposite side of unpathable terrain in areas that are with range and visible to the player. Alright. Kel'Thuzad. Shadow Fissure can now be cast in the minimap. Okay, that's fun. Shadow Fissure can now be cast between map levels and Haunted Mines Battleground. Yeah, alright, I like that. Leoric. Fixed an issue causing enemy heroes affected by Leoric's Entomb ability to lose allied vision after Leoric had chosen the Buried Alive stuff. Alright. Rhaegar fixed an issue that drastically reduced the attack range of Feral Lunge. Okay, so cool. So just bug fixes are always good. Nothing too outstanding here. User interface. Right-clicking a player in your friends list and choosing the whisper option will once again open the chat input field. Alright. Score screen. Counters for Chromie's Sandblast and the Butcher's Fresh Meat quest will now continue to increment on the in-game score screen after reaching their soft cap. So that's nice. I'm glad they did that. Basically, that should be a thing that happens to every quest that you can do indefinitely. You should be able to see where they're at. I want them to add this to the end game screen. Like, this should be something when you look at the stats screen at the end of the game, I want to be able to pull that up and look at the talents and go, okay, Chromie got 87 stacks of Sandblast, or Butcher got 250 stacks of meat. It's not there yet. At least it wasn't. It doesn't sound like they added it in. The counter for Morales' clear talent will no longer disappear from the in-game screen. There was, and I don't know if it's here, maybe I missed it, there is something that you can do. Let me scroll back up here real fast. These are all the hero things. I should just... Maybe I missed it. Maybe... I don't see it. I don't see it in the patch notes, but what you can do is you can actually now, and I'm probably just missing it. Nope, I guess not. You can now ping. Here's one thing that I didn't see, and maybe I just scrolled right by it, but you can now ping your level and like basically ping the team that, hey, you're down a level, or you're up a level, or you're on the same level. So there's no need to like type into chat, hey, 10, get 10, gotta get 10 because you're only at 9. You can now just ping and do that to like remind your team, hey, you guys are down a talent here, and that's something that's really good. Quality of life stuff there. It's really good. Anyway, so that's my spiel. I'm curious. Zul'jin looks, the changes off the top of my head seem like the Zul'jin changes are going to be strong. I'm curious about the Muradin changes. We'll see how that plays out. Maybe I'll play him, take him for a spin on the PTR and see how he runs. And then JunkRat, I will play him. I got to go unlock him now. I'm just yeah. Let me go check it out. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think of the patch notes so far. At least the initial thoughts about those on the PTR. You can go play it right now. You probably have a week to do so. Anyhow, I'll catch you guys later, probably for some JunkRat stuff, or maybe Shadows of War next week. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.